uburyo bungana iki kugira ngo nkore kimwe cyangwa nkore ikindi, ariko ukaba ufite ibintu bibiri gusa, kuvuga ngo either ndabihunga nigendere nkiza amagara yanjye, kuko hari ababikoze barahunga barigendera babivamo, n'ubu barakiruka ntibaragaruka. Ibyo babikora. Ikindi ni ukuvuga ngo oya, ntabwo ndi bugenze ibyo narwaniraga n'ubundi, ni ukuri kwanjye, ngomba kubikomeza, nabizera mbizire. Ibintu bibiri rero, yezu urahunga cyangwa urasigara uhangane n'ikibazo. Ibi byo guhangana n'ikibazo byari mu bantu benshi, nicyo cyiza cyabyo, byari mu banyarwanda benshi. Nibo bake kurusha abasigaye, bahanganye n'ibibazo. Muri uko guhangana rero n'ibibazo nyine ugomba gukoresha rero ubwenge, noneho gukoresha ubwenge se bahangana n'ibibazo, guhita bahangana nabyo nayo, noneho niho hazira gukoresha ubwenge, bikaguha icyo gukora bitewe n'icyo ufite n'icyo uzi ku mwanzi, n'uburyo koresha kugira ngo utsinda ari urugamba rumwe hano cyangwa ahandi, cyangwa utsinda urugamba runini rwo kurangiza ikibazo cyose. Nta kindi cyizere, nta kintu cyari gihari cyahunga umuntu uwo ari we wese. Yewe n'abatsinzwe banza batari bazi ko bazatsindwa, babaga bazi ko ni leta, bafite ibyangombwa byose, bumvaga bari aho. Twebwe bitaga inyenzi, bazatunyura hejuru gusa bakagenda. Natwe kubera aho twavaga nuko twari tumeze n'ubushobozi butari buhagije twari dufite, usibye uwo mutima wo gukora ibyo ushaka gukora, warabikoraga, ariko nta garanti, nta kintu cyakwemezaga ngo ibyo urwanira uzabigeraho. ariko bagomba kurwana anyway kuko nicyo wahisemo kandi niyo inzira yari iri imbere yawe warebaga wakoresha gusa. So ntazagire ukubeshya ngo ibyo twita intsinzi ngo barayirebaga. Barayirwaniye bayigeraho, kuba barayirebaga iza ibyo bizavugwa n'utari uhari.
Urakoze cyane. Yes, dufite ikindi kibazo. Dufasha na microphone kuri Eric yashize ukuboko. Excellency, my name is Eric. We just had a great visit of the site that was your military base, and it was a great visit. And then I went on to revisit one of the oldest video, but the famous one, where you were addressing your force, I think back in 1990. You taught them in Swahili how we called jeshi hili litakuwa msingi wa mabadiliko, and then you went on to tell them sasa ndio maana matendo yetu yanapaswa kuwa tofauti na yale ya wale tunapigana nao. For me, these were super great values of RPA. So my question is, how could you envision unity and integrity knowing you were not even allowed in your country, even coming to visit your friends and family, you could sneak in? And then we also had that, not here, I think I will need to fact check this, that some of the Habyarimana forces that were wounded during war, some of them were treated here. And then where did these values come from, and how do they remain the foundational values of RPF today? Thank you so much.
Yeah, societies, anywhere, or people, whatever, have values, certain beliefs, what they think is the right thing to believe in. And then, so Rwandans have values, there's no question about it. In fact, that to an extent explains the problem the world has. In the world, there are some people in some parts of the world who think they are the only ones who have values, and their values must be conformed to by others, which I personally feel insulted by and could not accept, can't accept it. It is not true. There are no people with better values than others. And better, how do you measure that? Better in what sense? So, with the Rwandan values, and even with the effort to try and integrate the values, your own values, with other people's values, so that it is broadened, or you look at it in a global context the way it should be. The governance of the country, the politics of the country, ordinarily should reflect the values of that society. So for a long time, in Rwanda, we had our own values even before. Then colonialism, okay, we can talk about that briefly, brought their own values, then gave or distorted the values of Rwandans, and unfortunately Rwandans came to accept the distorted values as their own. What do I mean here? Having a country that is divided on ethnic basis isn't part of the values we should espouse. We shouldn't. But that's what happened. So the RPF, the origin of it, much as it is problems that had happened to some Rwandans, not only those living in the country, but especially those outside as refugees. For things to go back to the right order, the politics must be bringing back the unity of the country, so that we are no longer ethnic groups, but rather the integration of that into or by national unity. So that's really how RPF was born. It's the foundation of RPF. So what I was saying to the fighters at that time is clearly narrating to them the story of who we are, or rather reminding them, because I think everyone knew, but people don't always do things based on what they know they should be doing. So I was just reminding them, or I was telling them that this struggle has a meaning. It's not just fighting and you kill, they kill, and and you take over. Even if you take over an authority, or you are into government, you are there. You should be there for a purpose. It's not just taking over. It's there for a purpose. So that's what I was, and I knew that, of course, even as now it still is, even the RDF that transitioned from the RPA into the current defense force we have, is the center, the center of gravity of what we are doing in the country, or the country, what it is, whether it is security, stability, socio-economic development, and so on and so forth. That message, and which they all understood, still plays part in what we are doing today, or who we are today, or what we want to be in the future. Yes, that differentiation between those who were fighting that later on committed genocide, or some of them had done so actually in many other, you remember this genocides of 60s, of 70s. So I was saying we are there, we are fighting for a cause that will change all that and create Rwanda to be what it should be. So that is even the message today, even tomorrow. Well, if we can fail to achieve it, but it remains, it stays the message. It is what should be driving us. Even politics we are doing, even the elections we are preparing for tomorrow, and the campaign is here running up and down. I'm not running up and down for nothing. I'm running up and down for that message. To present it and put it where it belongs and give it the results it should have.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. More questions? Joel?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President, Paul Kagame. So my question goes, first of all, my name is Tikule Joel. I'm a content creator and a proud first-time voter. My question is, your name is...
So when you were here, you probably were not yet born.
Yes. And I'm glad to be voting for the first time.
All right.
So my question is, your name is one that is known for intentional leadership, but today would like to know, how do you take care of Paul Kagame beyond the official roles that you play?
Sorry, let me get your question again.
Yes, your name is one that is known for intentional leadership.
Yeah.
How do you take care of Paul Kagame beyond the official roles that you play?
Okay. Let me tell you just off, this place where we are, actually, let me tell you something. I don't know if it is necessary. When I was at the Command and General Staff College in the US, I went it is going to turn out to be a long story maybe, but you know how I went there also? First, it was not me supposed to be going for that course. I was supposed to be going for a course somewhere else. The one who was supposed to be going to the US was Fred Rwigema, to attend that course. Even when I arrived at the course, I had to change the documents. Everything was recorded in Fred Rwigema's name. So we had to change all that into my names. But what happened, maybe I'm sure many of you don't know. When we started organizing in Uganda to actually do what the Ugandans got to know about it, we were doing it discreetly. And even encouraging Rwandans to join the army and inviting some from different other parts of the world to come and join and be with us. And because that time it was easy to join the army in Uganda, they had many groups fighting, so we filled the space. And some of us had the opportunity of being part of the struggle from the beginning, and we are so organizing and bringing people in. So the Ugandan system wanted to disorganize us so that we don't remain planning and doing what we wanted to do. So they wanted to send the top 3 of us, no, 4, scatter us outside Uganda to go and attend courses while we, in the meantime, we get disorganized. So Fred Rwigema was supposed to go to the US. I was supposed to go to Nigeria. Bunyenyezi, you have heard of Bunyenyezi. Chris Bunyenyezi was supposed to be sent to some other place. Bayingana was supposed to be sent to Russia. So when we got to know about it, I talked with Fred. And I told him, I'm the one who insisted and encouraged him not to actually go anywhere, because that will just mess all of us up. He was our leader. Then he said, if you go, that means postponing it for another 5 years or something. So we agreed. He's actually going to decline, and we tried to create a story of he would tell the authorities so that they understand he's not just objecting to going. And so he went back to the authorities, told them, and of course there was a bit of trouble. It was not well received. So I think the one who was told that he's not going and so on and so forth must have connected and said, you see, these people are up to something. Then they said, okay, since you are rejecting it, then Kagame must go. So it was going to be either him or me, so that still they maintained that thing they wanted to. I'm sure they are warning you for time, but let me say we are in charge of time here. Don't worry. So he declined, and they sent me as if to say, okay, if you are going to go, then this one will go, because they never wanted us together. They thought if they got rid of one, they would just create problems for the other. So then they called me up and said, so you Fred was going, now he has problems, he's not going, so you should be the one to go. He said, I have no problem. So I went back and told Fred, I said, you see, now they think they have known our plans. So if I decline, they may actually put us in jail, both of us. So to survive this and to continue our plans, you stay and do what we have been trying to do. And for me, I will go. But when things start, I'll anyway find my way back easily. I don't need any permission from anybody. So that's what happened. When I went for a course, blah, 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 long story short. So later on, my wife, we had just been married. She's here. They must have thrown me out of the honeymoon and, and just and said to her, of course. So, but she found me there a few months later. But and that time I'm trying to arrive at a quick thing here, and trying to separate the two Kagames and program 3 or 4, I don't know. But when she found me there, she was already pregnant with her first son, Ivan. And when the point I'm arriving at, in 93, actually in 94, just before genocide, he was 3 years old. He was sent to me. I stayed with him in this house somewhere. Is it up here? Yes, it's up here. I stayed with him for a few, maybe a week or less. In fact, when when Habyarimana crashed in the plane, he was here with me. The boy was here with me, and we were the news came. We were watching football. Where? In one of these houses. Yes. There was an Africa Cup tournament. I remember it was Senegal playing Cameroon, I think, when we were watching here. And somebody came with a message to me that Habyarimana's plane had crashed and there is chaos in Kigali and so on and so forth. So what follows is a different issue. But he was here with me. Now, you can see he was here with me not as a soldier, not as anything, but just as part of the family. So I was trying to reduce the amount of stress I had accumulated by having my son around. Something else funny that happened when, of course, as I said, he was here when the chaos started. In fact, I left him here and went with the forces that were going to Miove. That was Miove. And so I sent a message back. I told the people who had stayed here, I said they should quickly take this kid back across the border and take him back to his mother. You won't believe it, he refused. He refused, he cried, he said, no, you must see me first. He was like, where is my father? Where is he? He refused that day, and the next day we were very busy out there. So I had to drive and walk back that, like on the second day, to come and convince him to go. Yeah, so I told the commanders I was with, where the forces were, that they give me just a few moments. I first go and solve a personal problem. So I had to come back. Actually, at that time it was very dangerous because there was still some forces in between, and we had. At night I tried to drive. I had a Land Rover. I tried to drive, but we were using indicators. You couldn't put on lights because we didn't have. So some places we would walk, others I would drive. Then I came back, arrived here around 4:30 in the morning, and stayed up until he was sleeping until he woke up. And so I told him, you know, your mother wants you, you have to go. It seems he was happy where he was staying. He wasn't. So I had to convince him. I literally forced him, gave them somebody who took him to the border, and then I went back immediately. I didn't even rest. I had to go back and in the forces. So I'm just trying to bring in the official me and the personal me. I thought maybe there wouldn't be a better place or thing to explain it than that story. So we had to keep one part is family, another part is work, and another part I don't know what it is. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. With your permission, we'll take 2 last questions.
Okay.
Yes.
Maybe with a bonus of 3, if they could make it short, then.
Yes. Lionel, please, can you help us with the microphone?
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Lionel Nditebilie. I work at the Pan-African Review. 30 years ago, you were already the target of criticism coming from beyond the borders of Rwanda. From
When 30 years ago?
Yeah.
I'm still taking the criticism even now.
Yes, that was my question. Like, what was it then, and what is it now that is driving that criticism, and what can the new generation of Rwanda learn from the way you handled it?
Well, it's hard to tell, but also not. I shouldn't exaggerate. It isn't too difficult. Is there anybody in the world who would not be criticized, or who is not criticized at one time or another? I don't think, and it depends on the interests, or even the views of those who are criticizing you, about you, their views, their whatever interests, or if you. But it also means you are actually somebody. If you have to be criticized, you know, somebody who is nobody want to be criticized because they're criticizing you for something that in one way they associate with, but would want it different. That is one possibility. The other is what either you are thinking, or your actions, or your are a danger to them. In other words, it's like they deprive them of something. For example, if I'm, say, if we two of us, I'm telling you, say, you know what, let's do this. Or you are telling me, let's do this, so that we are not dependent on the other one. And the other one actually wants you to be dependent on them. They will not be happy that you are trying to be independent. So they will attack you for wanting to be independent, because they don't want you to be independent from them. And there are many tactics, there are many ways of doing that. They may not tell you directly that, because they, I mean, it looks ridiculous that they are attacking you for wanting to be independent. So they just find ways of creating a bad name for you so that that works against you. And it's not seen that they are the ones working against you. What is working against you is what they have created about you, the image. They make it look happen like that and absolves them the responsibility of attacking you or criticizing you. So they are, it's like, you see, it's like that. You know, at a higher level, like in our case, you know, there are, we touched a bit of history and said, you know, what has been happening in Rwanda. Let's talk about genocide alone. It happened because the country was divided. You know, the colonial times brought in the kind of politics and shaped Rwanda like that and so on. And then, anyway, ultimately genocide happened. So when you tell the story, actually the way it was, from colonialism and then up to the time of genocide, those who are responsible for the colonial times don't like it. And when you say they are associated with the genocide or the cause of it, they are not happy with you. Now, simple thing, for example, one of the things they do, and a simple one, they want to keep attacking you like you are a violator of human rights, you know, no freedoms, no democracy, blah, 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 blah. By doing that, it's like they are saying, you see, what happened in Rwanda actually is not anything to do with the outside. Rwandans have been killing each other. You see, they even, the genocide was this, killing this. So, and then they turn, that's the story of turning the victim into a perpetrator. You have seen how many times they are out there saying, accusing RDF, accusing Rwanda, you know, the security. I was reading something the other day saying, you know, you have seen this consortium of journalists, what they are saying, that Rwanda has spies all over the world, killing their opponents, you know, everywhere, in the whole world. So it's like they keep saying this about Rwanda. Rwanda is just a bunch of killers, you know. Not only that, they killed each other, now they are killing opponents. Now, you see, that when you get lost in that story, there is no outside blame. The outside blame disappears. Even the UN that was here that did nothing to stop genocide, or the whole world that watched and did nothing about genocide, ends up being absorbed. It's now Rwanda. It's Rwanda, the victims, the perpetrators, they change positions. It's the outside world, well, even journalists who were busy actually orchestrating genocide and supporting genociders, and they are the ones now who are spinning this story like those ones. Yes, because of their interest, their association, the way they want to shape the story of Rwanda, the narrative of Rwanda, the way they want. You see? So you now, if you are weak, if Rwanda is weak, it's going to succumb to, and even be apologetic, and or they shape it the way they want. They promote people, and you can see when they are saying, these are the people like the Ingabires, like somebody